Hey guys, YouTuber100 here. Now continuing my horror movie reviews, I'm going to review Friday the 13th Part 2. Yeah, so, as you may know, I already reviewed the first Friday the 13th movie. Yeah. So, yeah. So now it's my review of Part 2. This is the first one where Jason is actually the killer. Here, yeah, first movie was his mother, and yeah, this was the first movie where he was the actual killer. Yeah, so just finished watching the movie, and I actually like this a lot, quite a bit. Yeah, I actually like actually enjoyed it more than I did the first movie. It was probably because like when I watched the first movie and when I reviewed it, you may remember that I was just real tired when I made the review. Here I was just really brightened up, so yeah, that might be one of the reasons why I enjoyed it more than I did the first movie. But yeah. So yeah, I give this movie about 3.25 stars out of 4. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, like I said, this was the very first one with Jason and as the killer, yeah. But in this movie he doesn't wear the hockey mask. Yeah, he doesn't start wearing the hockey mask until the third movie, so yeah. You don't really see his face at all in this movie, yeah. Yeah, you don't get to see it until like the last maybe half hour of the movie where he's wearing like some kind of sheet over his head. Yeah. Most of the movie you just see like his legs and his arms. So yeah. Alright, so yeah, let me just jump into the review. Alright, so the movie starts off basically just like 2 months after the first movie ended. Yeah, we see just like a kid walking around in puddles, and then his mother tells him to come inside. And then right when he takes off, we see Jason's legs, and he's heading towards a house. And it turns out it was yeah, it was where Alice was. You know, Alice from the first movie who killed Jason's mother. Yeah. And she's just like staying by herself in just some house. And she gets a call from her mom. She tells her that she just needs to straighten up her life a little bit before she comes home or whatever. And then as she gets ready for bed, she like hears something, and then she's like wandering around the house. And then she comes to a window, and then a cat jumps in, scares her at first, and then she just sees the cat. When she tries to find something to eat, when she opens the fridge, there's just a real severed head, something, and she's screaming. And then Jason comes and just pierces her head with an ice pick. Yeah. And then the opening credits just scroll through the screen, yeah. And then we cut 5 years later, where there's some new teens going to Camp Crystal Lake to be the counselors. And yeah, they also meet the guy Ralph from the first movie who was trying to warn everyone about Camp Crystal Lake. Yeah, he was telling these new teens that he tried to warn them. Yeah. And then when they got to camp, when they were driving along to Camp Crystal Lake, while they were stopping to move a tree that was in their way, they saw like a Camp Crystal Lake sign, and turns out Jason was just hiding in the shadows. Then when they got to Camp Crystal Lake, the new like head of the camp, I guess, Paul, he was telling them what they'd be doing or whatever, yeah. And then his assistant Ginny came along also. Yeah, and then that night, while they were all like gathered around a campfire, Paul was telling everyone the story about Jason, saying that his body was never recovered from the lake after he drowned, and legend has that he saw his mother beheaded the night that she died. And yeah, yep. And then then one of the other counselors, scared everybody, like wearing some kind of mask and holding a spear. Yeah. And then that night, while Paul and Ginny were making out, Ralph was like spying on them while he was pressed up against a tree seeing what they were doing. And then Jason was like behind the tree and he got some barbed wire around Ralph's throat and just choked him to death, and you saw the blood was coming from his throat. And then we got the next morning, people are going jogging or whatever. Yeah. And then two of the counselors just are like walking through the woods. And then a cop catches them, asks them what they're doing there. Then he goes up to Paul's office and he's telling them that if anything like that happens again, that he would book him. Yep. And then as the cop was leaving, he saw like Jason crossing the road, and into the forest or whatever. And then the cop was chasing after Jason, and he just kept running after him, trying to find Jason. Yeah. Then he came across this like old kind of cabin. Then he went inside and looked around, and it was just a complete mess. Then eventually Jason walked behind him, and just gave him a hammer to the head. Oh gosh, yeah, and that killed him. Then that night, while everyone was having dinner, Paul was telling them that this would be their last night to like be free, and that the next day they would start doing work. So everyone just went out to just do whatever they wanted. Then there was this girl who went skinny dipping, and a guy took her clothes. So now she was trying to find the guy who did it. Then he popped up. Yeah. And as he had her shirt still, he was like backing up, and then his ankles got tied up in a rope, and he was hanging upside down. And as the girl went to go get a knife to like cut him down or something, Jason then popped up and used a machete and just sliced his throat. Yeah. Then when the girl came back, she saw that his throat was sliced, and she just screamed. And then we went over to a bar, yeah, yeah, and then Ginny was telling everyone about Jason and that he could be coming for revenge or whatever. Yeah. And then we also saw another couple like having sex also. Yeah. Yeah, and then like yeah, as they were having sex, Jason came up to the room. He grabbed the spear from the scaring earlier. And then he just pierced both of their bodies and he just went right through the bed. Yeah. And also, well, there was another guy in a wheelchair, and he was trying to find the girl who went outside. And yeah, well, then just out of nowhere, Jason like whacked him in the face with a machete, and it just threw him back. And then a girl came back to the cabin where there was the couple having sex, I think. And when she went upstairs to see if anyone was there, she saw that there was someone in a bed, but yeah, they were covered. When she uncovered, there was Jason. He said, yeah, that's when Jason then had the sheet around his head. Yeah. Yeah. And then Jason like struck her down and then killed her with a knife. Yeah. And then Paul and Ginny went there and they saw what happened. There was like blood on the bed and they saw the dead bodies or whatever. Then they were searching to see if searching around the house or the cabin, I should say. Yeah. Then Jason appeared and was fighting with Paul. Took him down. And then Jason went after Ginny. You know, and then Ginny just tried to make a run for it, or going up just around the cabin trying to find ways out. And then I think like she got out the window. and then she just ran to the forest or something, and Jason was following her. Then I think she came into that cabin where the cop got killed, and then she was just trying to hide, and then she saw, like, I think that was, she saw what I thought was Jason's mother's severed head. Yeah. Then, yeah, she like locked the door so Jason couldn't get in. Jason started breaking through. Then she put on a sweater, I guess, to look like Jason's mother. And then Jason finally broke in, and yeah, Jenny was talking to Jason as if she was his mother, and then Jason just saw his mother. Yeah. Then when Jason like got down on his knees or something, and Jenny like grabbed something, forgot what it was. Yeah, and I think she whacked him with that. Yeah, and then Paul came back and he was fighting with Jason some more. Or yeah, and then Jenny just grabbed a machete, and then just like cut Jason in the shoulder or something, and that's what quote unquote killed him. Yeah. And then Paul took Jenny back to the their cabin. Yeah. Then they heard someone at the door, so they got weapons ready. And then Paul opened the door, and it was just the dog. Yeah. And as Jenny was going over to like hug the dog or something, Jason then popped up from the window and then like grabbed Jenny. Yeah, and then it just after that just faded to the next day where Jenny was being loaded into an ambulance, and as Jenny was being put in the ambulance, she asked where Paul was, but then the ambulance just drove off. And then then the movie just ended like back at that old cabin, and it just like zoomed in on Jason's mother's head or something, and it just ended like that. So yeah, 3.25 stars out of 4, as I said. Alright, yeah, so that's it for my Friday 13th review. Sorry if I didn't really explain too much, but yeah, I'm just kind of having trouble getting words right now. So yeah, alright, so that's it for my Friday 13th Part 2 review. So yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys later.